She doesn't even go here.
Yesterday I did Gucci, and today Fendi, so it's hot.
Hey, it's Nikki Jensen
and Brie Piccone,
and we're Late to the Party, a weekly podcast about film, fashion, and pop culture from two best friends mentally on our hamburger phones in 2007.
Yeah. Dude, that hamburger phone is everything.
Like, iconic. Also, $15 on Amazon. You're welcome.
That's all?
Yes.
Dang.
Her bedroom, Juno's bedroom in the 2007 modern day classic Juno. Her hamburger phone, her Tara McPherson artwork.
Yes. Oh, I love how the wall is just littered with like artwork and like cutouts, like illustrations, like collage. Like, it's so much going on.
I love it. I love a teenage girl's bedroom.
Yeah.
Gives me life.
I feel like I never had a bedroom like that, though. I feel like mine was really lame. Like,
no, I did. I for sure did.
Yeah. You had a Gaga shrine.
I did have a Lady Gaga shrine in high school.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not as cool as Juno. Where was my hamburger phone?
I know.
But yeah. How's it going, Brie?
It's going. It's, are you trying to ask me about pop culture news? Or are you just asking?
I'm just chilling. I'm just hanging. I feel like, I'm not trying to like bait you into something.
I don't know.
It's a little presumptuous, Brianna.
No, I don't know.
No, just how's it hanging?
It's hanging.
I'm not written by Diablo Cody, so I can't be like, what's shaking home, skillet, with the flippity flaps?
I know, right? No. Oh, man. Yeah, that dialogue. I know. I wish I had something cool to say like that. I wish I had like quick, like, I don't know. I wish I was cool.
Same. Oh, what does Jennifer Check say in Jennifer's Body, where she's like, nice insult, Hannah Montana?
Oh, yeah. Another iconic movie.
I know, Diablo Cody. This is crazy. So last week we talked about I, Tonya.
Yeah.
Which Allison Janney's in.
Yes.
This week we're talking about Juno.
Which Allison
Janney's in.
Yeah.
But this movie, written by Diablo Cody, directed by Jason Reitman. In a couple days, we're going to record. I don't know when we're going to release it, but we're going to record Young Adult.
Yes.
Which is written by Diablo Cody, directed by Jason Reitman.
I know. What are the odds? We didn't really even plan it that way. It's just the universe is aligned. We just...
Truly. I think it's all connecting.
Yeah. I love it. I'm here for it. Also, like, Allison Janney's, like, it's so wild seeing her in this movie compared to the one we just saw.
I know. She's a good mom in this one.
Yeah. It's like an alternate universe, like I, Tonya.
Yes. Did you ever watch Mom?
Yeah, I've seen a few episodes, but I've never started from the beginning. I don't know the context of it very well.
Same. Is she, like, a good mom in that or a bad mom?
I don't know. I think she's, like, a fun, cool mom. I don't know.
And Anna Faris is a mess, right?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, that's neither here nor there. I'm trying to...
Yeah. No, when I think of her, I think of that show, but I have only seen, like, a few eps. But
Same.
But I've heard it's really good.
Same. I know our aunt's, like, obsessed.
Yeah.
So. I love your ensemble today. It's very Juno McGuff.
Thank you. That was, intentional. I don't know. I woke up, I looked at this, I was like, what am I going to wear? I saw the shirt, and I said, bet. Like, I'm just going to dress like Juno. I'm going to layer.
I love it. I love Juno's fashion.
I do too. I love when she wears like a tweed skirt over jeans.
Skirts over jeans used to be really, really fun.
They still can be.
They can be. Would you ever rock a skirt over jeans?
If it was the right skirt, if it was comfy enough too. I just feel like that's a lot like of layers, but
I think I would maybe try it over flares.
Yeah, I feel like flares.
Like, those like really short sequency mini skirts, like the big, like chunky sequence ones that are in right now?
Yeah.
Maybe like something like that.
Ooh.
Probably not, but I don't know.
That would never happen, but
just go full Ashley Tisdale or go home as far as like the skirts and jeans.
Yeah.
That's what I...
Which, speaking of fashion, I have some news to share.
Yes!
I know the influence, I know the impact, and I know the vibes.
Insert our new theme here.
That's hot. No, that's our old one.
Yeah, what is our new? It's the moment. I know what the moment.
I know the moment. I know the vibes. It's Julia Fox, our queen.
Speaking of Julia Fox, did you know that she's going to have a TV show coming out? Like a competitive fashion TV show.
I saw it briefly on TikTok, but what are the details?
I don't know. Apparently it hasn't been confirmed what network, but apparently a big network is picking her up. And it's going to be produced by Scout Productions. That's the same company behind Queer Eye.
Ah, gotcha.
Yeah. And did you see like when she shares what it's going to be about, like who she's looking for?
No.
For the people. Okay, let me show you this clip.
Hey guys! Are you a fashion disruptor? Are you a savant? Do you upcycle dresses out of seashells or leaves or tampon applicators but make it fashion? Then you are who I'm looking for.
She's so funny. She's so fabulous. She's so funny. She's wild.
She is. I love it. I love how she's like, if you make dresses out of seashells or like tampon shells.
And she also like, she's like, if you win, you get to style me. And it's like very nebulous about like
what winning entails.
No cash prize, no whatever. But like, you get to hang out with Julia Fox, which you're welcome.
Isn't that an ultimate prize though?
For sure. She's really giving like RuPaul's Drag Race right now.
Yes. I'm so excited. And like maybe, I don't know, I'm picturing like Project Runway, RuPaul's Drag Race. I just wonder, I don't know, how it's going to go down, how it's going to be judged. Is she going to be the only judge? Like, is it just her going like slay? Or like,
she's wild. I love Julia Fox.
Or is she going to wear the outfits herself? Like, is it just styled specific? You know what I mean? Like, there's so many questions.
I think so. I can only imagine her just being like, this is a TV show for me, so you can style me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I live for it.
I love it. I wish that I had that talent. I wish I could design. And so, like, I wish, like, we could apply or something.
You want to join?
How cool would it be?
That'd be really cool. You thrift.
I thrift. That's not the same, though.
Oh, well.
I think you have to physically make outfits, right? You can't just be, like, I don't know.
You can start gluing things. You know how to work a hot glue gun.
Yes, like in
Drag Race.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. You're right. Maybe I should go for it.
I don't know, Brie.
It'd be a hot mess. I know it would be.
No, I'm here for it. I support the stream.
Yeah.
Anything else going on? You know what I've been thinking about?
What have you been thinking?
A lot lately. So Ice Spice and Ben Affleck are in the new Dunkin' Donuts commercial.
They are.
They're doing an ad campaign for Dunkin', which is perfect for Ben Affleck because he's Mr. Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah.
Ice Spice, I don't know the correlation.
Yeah.
But you sent me that video of the guy. There's this guy who reviews drinks and he says that they're bustin'.
Yeah.
And he really liked it. But
I wanted to get I think it's called the Ice Spice Munchkin drink. Because I guess her fans are called Munchkins. I guess that song Munch, I'm guessing.
Does she frequent the Dunkin' Donuts?
I don't know. And I'm like, what does this drink taste like? Supposedly it tastes like a pumpkin spice donut, like a munchkin, which is one of my favorites. But
the pumpkin spice munchin's really good.
Yeah. Anyway, they were all sold out. It was very disappointing.
But I love the ad with Ben Affleck.
Yeah.
Who's in his like full comedy mode, which I really haven't seen from him. I love it.
I like seeing him being funny. But also, I didn't know his accent was so thick. I was like shook. Like I felt like I never heard him speak before.
I know he's like doing it up, you know, in the Boston accent for the commercial, but I live to see it.
Yeah.
I think he should actually just be the face of Dunkin' Donuts.
At this point, yeah. It'll just take down like the double D's.
Yeah,
and
no.
just put his head there.
It should be, instead of just like that stick figure running, it should be Ben Affleck.
It should be Ben Affleck. Yeah, you're right. I don't know why it isn't.
I know. He really is like the patron saint of Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah. Trying to think what else. Well, I guess Drake has been pissing off Halle Berry. So
yeah, what is the situation with that?
I guess supposedly he did like ask her like, hey, can I use this photo of you being slimed for my, you know, album art or whatever? And she said no, and then he used it anyway in like a promo, and I don't know, she's pretty pissed about it. Like,
I do like the photo though.
It is cool, yeah. And the song I think is like, it's not slime on you, but it's like something like that. Slime you out, not slime on you. Slime you out is what it's called.
What does that even mean?
I don't know. That's the thing. I have no idea what that means.
Which is so funny. Do you remember the Kids' Choice Awards back in the day?
Yeah.
Like, I just remember that clip of Katy Perry, like California Girls era, in her blue wig. Mm-hmm. Have you seen that clip of her getting slimed and it like almost sends her shooting backwards? I love it.
I miss when people got slimed.
Same. I miss Cameron Diaz burping.
Yes.
Those were the days.
Those were. Drake's just trying to bring it back, you know? Like, what's so wrong about that?
For sure.
No, I wouldn't want to piss off Halle Berry, though. You know, I feel like
true. Also, like, I did see a little bit on Twitter of Halle Berry's response to it, which was like, why ask my permission?
Yeah.
If you're going to do it anyways. Like, I know it's a courtesy, but if I say no, like,
it's kind of disrespectful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially Halle Berry, you know?
Also, like, it's better to ask forgiveness than ask permission.
Just do it at that point. Don't even ask.
Yeah.
And then be
like, oh, I'm sorry, Miss Berry. I never meant to offend you.
Yeah.
And
sorry,
then it be,
Miss Berry.
Oh,
I am for real. I don't know. I don't really get it, but whatever.
It should have been Katy Perry getting blasted by the slime.
It should have.
Maybe he should have had like iconic slime moments lined up.
Yeah, then it wouldn't be so specific to Halle Berry. Then you can't be as offended. Then you're just like, oh, okay, everyone's getting slimed.
Yeah, or like me. Halle Berry says no. Do Mary-Kate and Ashley at the 2004 Kids' Choice Awards getting
just keep
slimed.
asking. Just keep going down the line until someone says yes.
Yeah, I think there's a plethora of people getting slimed on.
I'm sure. Yeah, she's not the only one.
Definitely not.
It's a great point, Nick.
Great photo though.
Yeah. No, it is cool. I know. I'm like, I don't know where I stand. Like,
but what is the song? Like, I'm gonna slime on you.
I don't know. It hasn't come. I don't think it's come out yet. Oh well, maybe it has. I was just confused because I know his album's not coming out until like October. Like his new album is pushed.
I do not think about Drake that often. I mean, I love his bops, but I don't think about him.
Honestly, I don't either. It just showed up in my feed and I'm like, what? Like, Halle Berry's pissed at Drake? Why? What happened?
I'm gonna slime on you. Which actually just sounds like Dave Chappelle doing R. Kelly.
Oh my god, it does. It really does.
I like my song better. I'm gonna slime on you.
I like it better too. Yeah. You should hire us. This is right.
Out.
Show you what it's all about.
Bet on it, bet on it.
Turn it into bet on it.
You know what? Drake is always like 2 steps away from being Troy Bolton in High School Musical 2.
Yeah, just like the way he dances.
Yes, just his energy is really bet on it. Like he's, I don't know, without the ghostwriters, I feel like, I love Drake, but I feel like he'd be like bet on it, the real version, without the sound.
Yeah. Someone, we should do an AI of that. Because there's already a Michael Jackson cover of Bet on It.
To be honest, the AI covers are really funny, but they freak me out.
Yeah.
Like, AI really disturbs me and I don't like it.
Same. I know I'm just talking about it like in a fun way, but to be honest, I don't really like it either.
Yeah, it just, I don't know. I'm very into authenticity now. Like, it's a trend just to be yourself.
Yeah. But speaking of, there's something I would like to also mention. This has nothing to do with like anything going on, but it's been on my mind.
Yeah,
you know.
Well, we have a podcast.
That's what the segment's about too, right? What's on our minds?
Yes.
So this also came up in my feed, and it got me thinking. Remember when Lady Gaga wasn't happy with how Glamour magazine photoshopped her, and she showed up to like the press conference all like, I don't want to say uglied up because she's still not like ugly, but she did this.
Okay, well, is that really how that went down?
Pretty much. She said like her skin looked too perfect.
You know what? This is like the fall, winter 2013 Glamour. And I had that copy of Glamour. I thought Lady Gaga looked fabulous with her crimped hair.
Yes.
I don't know, like the art pop press cycle was weird anyways. Yes. Iconic, but weird. I don't know. I always thought she looked fabulous. I didn't hear that narrative at the time, but that's very interesting.
Yeah, because there's like a video of her talking about it.
When I did the cover of Glamour, my skin looked too perfect and my hair looked too this is because I believe that my true mission is to inspire young people to fight back against the social projections onto them. And I beckon to glamour in every magazine that's here tonight. It is fair to write about the change in your magazines, but what I want to see is the change on your covers.
You know, that's interesting. It makes me think of, have you seen in the news recently, Ariana Grande's come out?
I saw something about it, but I didn't click on it.
So Ariana Grande came out in like a video, I think promoting like REM Cosmetics. But she talks about how back in like 2018, she used a lot of like Botox and a lot of fillers, and she doesn't use them anymore. And she was like, this is kind of like, remember like in the early 2010s, like Lady Gaga being like, I never thought I was beautiful.
Yeah.
So I put on all these costumes and like this hair and makeup.
Right.
To kind of mask myself, or to, you know, like she took it from like just traditional beauty into performance art territory, mostly for the art, but also there is an element of being insecure about the way you look.
Right.
Pretty much Ariana Grande says the same thing, that she masked the way she looked and like used Botox and fillers and whatever, and because she didn't like the way she looked. It just makes me think about that a lot. I think it's like very interesting how we put these artists up on a pedestal, or even when it's someone like Lady Gaga, who back then wasn't very, like her whole deal wasn't about being beautiful or glamorous, but yet when she is on the cover of Glamour, they want her to look a certain way.
Sure. Yeah.
And I know back then, like, Gaga had so much creative control. Like, I still think of that one, like, 2011 Vogue cover where she's in her, like, You and I era, that, like, nymph, like, weird, like, no eyebrows.
I love the no eyebrows, yes.
So, I don't know, it just makes me think about that. I think that's very interesting. I don't have a moral stance on it. What do you think?
I don't know. I just love Lady Gaga so much. Like, I love that she, like, stands for something. Like, she speaks her mind and speaks, like, what she believes and, like, tries to change things, like use her platform for good. I just think that's really cool because she doesn't have to. She could just be like, oh, I looked good, or oh, they photoshopped, whatever, like, and just not care. But she shows, I love that she just like takes it upon herself to, like, I don't know, make a statement.
I mean, she's always been about that. I don't know. Does she do that anymore?
Does she make any statements lately?
I know. Like, where is Gaga? Maybe we need her more now than ever, but...
I know. Yeah, what does she stand on the state of the world?
Have you seen she's on that... she does that commercial now for...
yes, the...
migraines.
Oh, whatever. That's
or whatever.
Yeah, that... I don't remember what it's called, but yeah, she's like, I take it all the time or something.
I take this medication. It's like her on a piano with, like, the side effects of, like, shortness of breath. You might die. Yes, Gaga.
It always catches me off guard because I'm like, wait, it's Gaga. She's talking to me. Oh.
Well, speaking of authentic people, people that dare to be different.
Yeah.
So before we had Lady Gaga just being all weird in a fabulous way, we had the OG hipster, quirky, twee, Juno.
Yeah. An icon.
An icon, a legend, a star. Juno came out in 2007.
Yeah.
So long ago. That was like 15, 16 years ago.
Yeah. Which it doesn't seem that long ago. I can still remember this movie, like, being, like, I remember the previews. I remember the posters.
It was short of iconic. This started a lot of trends too.
Yes. I was thinking that too. I'm like, because even with like Twee, like a lot of that's attributed to like the like 2010s, but like this was a little before that. So it's like, did this start that?
Pretty much. I mean, pretty much after Juno, we were all obsessed with Michael Cera.
Yeah.
We all wanted to talk like we were written by Diablo Cody. According to some people, that created like the Juno Effect, where everyone wanted to get pregnant as a teen.
See, okay, I was wondering, okay, you know, like Secret Life of the American Teenager?
Yeah.
That came out, I want to say like a year later?
Yeah.
So I was thinking, like, I wonder if they got this idea because Juno.
Maybe. I mean, like 2007 was also the year where Jamie Lynn Spears, got pregnant.
Yeah.
And Zoe 101 had to go off the air, and like Bristol Palin got pregnant at 16.
A lot of teens were just getting preggers.
Knocked Up came out. Not teens, but you know, Seth Rogen had a chokehold on culture back then.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, no, Juno was actually iconic. It was an Oscar darling. It, you know, started the Twee aesthetic. Quirky soundtracks and dialogue. The Moldy Peaches became a thing because of this soundtrack. And the world got introduced to Elliot Page, who is excellent as Juno.
I agree. Yeah, I know. I can't believe this is the first time seeing this movie. So you've seen this movie already, though, right?
I have.
You've told me that it's a good movie.
Yes, I didn't see it. I didn't see it at the time, but yeah, this is. So you were like late to the party.
Very late to the party. Yeah. When did you see this movie first?
Probably in 2008.
Oh, okay. So soon after, like a year later?
Yeah, like pretty much a year later. But I remember at the time being very annoyed by the hype around Juno.
Yeah.
To be honest. But it just seems like, knowing what I know now and being such a Jennifer's Body stan, like I love Diablo Cody's writing.
Mm-hmm.
And I just love the way she talks is like so freaking cool.
Yeah.
So but I wasn't into it at the time. I was like annoyed by it. I was like, oh my God, like so quirky, like, ugh.
Yeah, I agree. I was a little bit, even though I think I ended up participating in being quirky later.
Yeah.
But, you know, not at that time. It was a little too early for me.
Yeah, true. Like, no, I was talking about it with someone today where I was like, I think in 2007, we were what, 13?
Yeah.
So it's a little before.
It didn't hit at the right age for us.
It didn't. Like, I feel like if we were like 16, 17, just a little bit older, Juno would have like revolutionized a lot of things.
We might have thought of having a baby and giving it up.
Truly. Or just like the way that the characters speak. I think that was like the big thing that struck me. Like you were talking about the trailer. Mm-hmm. Like this trailer was all over the place, and it was always Rainn Wilson being like, it's like a doodle you can't, an etch a sketch you can't undo, home skillet. And at the time I was eye rolly, but I think if I was a little bit older, this movie would have had like a chokehold on me.
Yeah, I think so too. I was thinking like that Diablo Cody's like dialogue, it reminded me, like it gave me a similar feeling to like when I watched the Gilmore Girls, like of that like quick like humor that's unexpected and kind of like specific to the characters.
Diablo Cody and Amy Sherman Palladino like come from the same school. Like they had like the same mind, it seems.
Right? Yeah.
But Gilmore Girls is also a thing like later in life. But like later on I came to love.
Same.
So
yeah. I don't know. It just gave me those vibes.
For sure. But yes, it was written by Diablo Cody, directed by Jason Reitman. It starred Elliot Page, Michael Cera.
Was this both of their debuts?
Well, Michael Cera, one of my favorite TV shows, like in the world, is Arrested Development. Mm-hmm. So I already knew who Michael Cera was.
Which is crazy that, like, speaking of Arrested Development, the same, like, his dad in Arrested Development, I don't know that.
It's a Jason Bateman, Michael Cera reunion.
Is it Jason Bateman? Yeah. Mm-hmm. I don't know why when I hear Jason Bateman, I think of a serial killer.
Like Patrick Bateman?
I just hear Bateman and I'm like, ah.
No, I love Jason Bateman, even as like this character who's a bit of a slime ball.
Like, yeah, and we'll get into that. But.
Yeah, no, I love him. Jason Bateman can do no wrong in my book.
Yeah, no, I love to see. I this whole movie, I feel like, is cast so well.
Every single actor. I think this movie, like, it won the Oscar for Best Original Screenplay for Cody.
Yeah.
But I think it's really, like, Elliot Page's performance is very underrated.
I agree.
Also, like, Elliot Page definitely helped start the, like, twee/hipster movement because they're the ones who suggested the Moldy Peaches. And that, like, helped form the soundtrack, which this soundtrack became, like, a platinum-selling album.
That is wild to me. Okay, this soundtrack is, like, the most, like, folky, indie soundtrack ever, and it's just a lot. Like, it hits you, like, you know, with that with the Moldy Peaches. It's not bad or anything. I was like, whoa, like,
dude, I fucking hated this soundtrack at the time.
Yeah.
And watching it today, I was like, this is the best movie soundtrack to ever exist. Like, out of like 16 years time, I was like, man, the Moldy Peaches fucking hit.
I love the Moldy Peaches. There's someone else on here too that I was like, oh, is it hold on.
There was a Belle and Sebastian ditty that was a good needle drop.
Cat Power?
Cat Power Sea of Love cover
Yeah.
is maybe gonna play at my wedding. I don't know. That album where she does the covers. Have you listened to that album?
No.
She does a really good cover of I Can't Get No Satisfaction.
Ooh.
I Found a Reason. It's really good. Check it out.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I love Cat Power, so just, yeah.
So good. I'm a stan. I'm like twee or like hipster, like very late to the party.
Yeah. Is it bad? Like, I don't know. I feel like I didn't get to enjoy Twee to its fullest at the time. Like, I feel like we all wore bird dresses at one point, and then just the next season we like burned them and threw them away, and that was it. And we just never looked back until like maybe last year, where it was like a trend on TikTok.
I remember, like, do you remember the era of like thermal shirts with like apples on them?
Yes.
What was up?
I think, oh yeah, her best friend in like Juno's best friend in the movie, she had like was it turtles on there? I think it was like a waffle shirt with turtle printed on it.
You know what? Now though, I kind of love it. I'm not gonna lie. I was on the runway last night, and I was like looking at like wide over the top Peter Pan collars.
Oh,
like blouses.
Like how over the top
like
are we talking?
Huge. There was this one also like Twee adjacent, like Rachel Antonoff pieces.
Oh,
with the biggest Peter Pan collar.
That's hot.
It was like Alexa Chung on crack. Very into it.
I remember buying a Peter Pan collar and wearing it like twice, but I thought it was the coolest thing. Did you have one? Did you have like a bedazzled one or something, or pearls or something?
Definitely like had like the pearls. I had the ones too where you like put them on like a necklace, so you could wear a Peter Pan collar with anything.
With anything, yeah. That's what. Yeah, it's like a clip-on of sorts, like
the clip-on tie of the tweez.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's coming back, or at least like Alexa Chung influence is coming back.
Yeah,
which I don't hate.
I don't
love
hate it. I mean, there's worse trends, honestly.
But I was a hipster, so
same.
So it's coming back. Our culture is coming back.
We were so close to getting those mustache tattoos.
Yeah, right. Oh my god, I never went that far.
Yeah.
Thank goodness.
Thank goodness.
That was a little before our time. Thank God. I think the universe made us like 2-3 years too young for the mustache tattoos.
Yeah, we made the cutoff. It was like
Yeah.
the universe saved us from that.
The Lord was like, no, you're just gonna be right in time for 2014 Tumblr girl and set us off on our way.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the movie opens with like the doodles. How would you describe this?
Okay, I love it. So it starts out as like Juno. First off, Juno's chugging like a whole, like, I don't know how many gallons of Sunny D in this giant jug, which didn't make a lot of sense at first, but it does in a few minutes, you know. But she's just kind of walking to, I don't know, the neighborhood, like the downtown area, or
like the drugstore.
Yeah.
But it's like, how would you describe the...
It just like becomes a doodle, like it transitions into a doodle as she's walking, and it's like a sketch of sorts. It looks hand drawn. It's very Peter, Bjorn, and I'm saying that right? Peter, Bjorn, and John.
Yeah, it's like,
you know, like very young folks music video. Which I'm surprised that's not on the.
That's true. Well, Gossip Girl took that one.
Yeah, true.
That was another soundtrack. That was where I was in 2007, to be honest.
Gossip Girl is like a bit twee, like, but like a little more upscale. It's like an upscale twee. I think elements of twee, I think, come and go. You know what I mean?
Early Jenny Humphrey gives a little twee.
Yeah, just a little.
Yeah,
it's like it exists in the world just somewhere, not prominently, but
It's definitely like a fashion statement. The Juno Effect, I don't think is actually teen pregnancy. I think it was like
the fits,
the soundtrack, the way she talked.
Yeah, definitely. Oh my god, yeah. I can't wait to get into that.
Because like most of being in high school, like a little later, was the way like being quirky had cachet. I don't know if it was like that for you, but for me, my high school experience was like the aftermath of Juno. Being like, if you were like quirkier on your Facebook page or whatever, then, or your Tumblr, than the next person beside you, it was like the coolest thing.
Yeah. Were you saying home skillet a lot?
Yeah. Well, you were.
I know I was. Whoa.
Oh my god.
You were.
Like J.K. Simmons says, damn Skippy, and it sent me. I was like, is Brie here? For someone who hasn't seen Juno.
I know. No, I love it. Or like, for Sheezy.
That's the Juno Effect.
Yeah. Oh.
We did not get pregnant as a teen, but we did say for Sheezy.
Yeah. It's all thanks to Juno, turns out.
Yes.
But yeah, so it's very, I don't know, I like how it's like illustrated and like fun, and then it fades back into like the film after we're done with the credits, and
yeah,
Juno's at the drugstore
taking a pregnancy test,
third one that day. It's like, seems pretty intense. And Dwight Schrute is there. I mean,
yep.
Ramos.
Yeah,
but I can't not see Dwight Schrute because I watch The Office. But
see, and I wasn't an Office fan. Like, I've never really watched The Office.
I was very resistant to watching The Office for the longest time. And then when I gave it a shot, I really enjoyed it. Because especially when it was on TV, I'm like, oh, this is so dumb. Skip.
I know. It's really funny just thinking about all the things. Like, this podcast is becoming, like, things that we were really just, like, jerks about. Mm-hmm. Like, all the people that are like, you need to watch Emily in Paris. And I'm like, I know. And I know I would like it. But I can't because you told me to. It's very Juno.
It's very Juno.
But yeah. Do you have any thoughts before because like right off the bat, you're like, oh, these characters talk like in a different way than anything I've ever heard before. Yeah. Like the way Juno presents themselves, it's like, it's just so different. But do you have any thoughts on Diablo Cody's dialogue and just intro to Juno?
Yeah, I think it keeps things interesting and entertaining. It's like fun because you never know what Juno's gonna say next. And like I think everyone's dialogue's a little bit like riffy like that. Like when her best friends like, what did she say? Honest to blog? Yes. I was like, wait, what? Like blogs were a thing. This movie is interesting looking back too because it's like a time capsule in that way where it's like what we were concerned with at the time, like blogging. I don't know. I thought that was kind of cool.
For sure. It's like I think it does that perfect mix of like, it's a timeless narrative with, yeah, like certain things
took me out, like the Nintendo DS.
Yeah. But what do you mean that took me in? Nintendogs, bro.
Yeah. Oh, but no, I love Diablo Cody's dialogue. And just when you think it's going to get boring dialogue-wise, someone says something and you're like, oh, wow. Like Alice and Jane would pop off and say something. You're like, whoa.
It's fresh. I think like it's so funny too. Like you're talking about like her cheerleader best friend or the mom and the dad. Like
yeah, the dad too. It says some funny things.
It's like pretty much everyone in Juno's life up until we meet like Jason Bateman and Jennifer Garner's character talk like Juno to a degree.
Yeah, that's really cool. Okay, I noticed that there's like a color palette in this movie too, like from the beginning. It's like a lot of like warmer tones maybe, like yellows and oranges and reds.
Yeah.
And browns?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know why it made me think of Wes Anderson a little.
I read a lot of comparisons to Wes Anderson. Like there's this quote. So this is according to Vogue about Twee. It says, if Tumblr defined an entire generation with ripped tights, messy eyeliner, Doc Martens, and the idolization of icons like Skins, Effie, then Twee and its feminine, artsy sister then peaked in 2014. Oversized collars, printed A-line dresses, Mary Jane flats, colorful tights, and layered cardigans built the bulk of Twee, with Zooey Deschanel standing in as the unofficial queen, while Wes Anderson movies and indie music flew high as an unofficial flag. Twee was the girl whose favorite class in school was art, the girl who thrifted before it was cool, and the one who wore fake glasses for the aesthetic before it was mainstream. Some also associate Twee with hipster culture.
Man. Wait, so am I Twee? Like, wait a minute. That's like, my favorite class is art. I thrifted before it was cool.
Yes. And I would say years before Juno does, like, she was the mascot before Zooey Deschanel.
Right. Yeah, I feel like Juno doesn't get enough credit because we all, when you hear Twee, you think Zooey Deschanel. Like, I mean, I usually do. But after this, I could totally see how this would have got the ball rolling.
Like, Juno walked so Zooey Deschanel could run.
Exactly. You know what surprised me in this movie? The fact that she gets pregnant so quickly. I just didn't expect that to happen so fast. I thought there'd be more buildup to that moment, but it just already has happened. And you're like, oh, okay, Juno's pregnant. Like, this is just, it's happening. Like, and now you see, like, she's figuring it out on the way down.
It's a coming of age movie, I think.
Yeah, there's more going on than just being pregnant, but yes.
No, I think even the way, like, her parents find out and the way everyone in her life handles it, it's not really, like, about shaming her for the pregnancy.
Yeah.
Or that's not, like, the central conflict. It's like, because there's a scene very early on where she's telling her parents, played by J.K. Simmons and Allison Janney.
Yeah.
And J.K. Simmons says something to the effect of, like, I didn't think you were that kind of girl.
Right.
And Juno straight up is like, I don't know what kind of girl. Like, she, like, strips down that facade for, like, 2 seconds. Mm-hmm. Because she, like, appears so mature and quirky and whatever. But she's like, I don't know what kind of girl I am. So
yeah.
I think right away it's, like, Juno finding themselves.
Yeah.
And but I do like that narrative. It's not about her being pregnant.
Yeah, not so much. I think it's interesting too, like the first thing, or not the first thing, because Juno's like, let's nip it in the bud, you know? But like after some thought, like it just, I guess just knowing that you don't want to raise a baby and you're like 16, you're like, I want to be responsible, find someone to adopt. Like, I don't know. I just think that's cool and a mature way to maybe handle things. And I feel like, I don't know, there's probably some people out there who would just have the baby, or like maybe their parents be like, you gotta have this baby or something. And I just love how supportive her parents are, and they're like, we're gonna figure this out, I'll go with you to meet the adoptive parents, like whatever,
which they find in the penny saver.
Yeah, which is so wild.
I don't know what a penny saver is, but I can infer.
Yeah.
Oh my god, can we talk about, because Juno gets pregnant by Bleeker.
Oh wait. Okay, wait, which one is it?
It's not Beaker. Beaker's from the Muppets.
Yeah,
Bleeker.
Nikki, you had me convinced for a moment that it was
Beep.
It was Beaker. You're always thinking about Beaker.
I am.
You're like, I'm pregnant with Beaker's baby.
That's me.
Just rewriting the narrative.
For sure. That's in my fanfic.
I love it.
But Michael Cera plays Bleeker.
Yes.
Who's like the ultra nerd on the track team.
Yeah, which it took me half the movie to realize his first name is like Polly. I think.
Yeah.
And but they just call him Bleeker.
Polly D.
Yeah.
Polly B.
Polly B.
But another thing. In the late 2000s, I could not stand Michael Cera.
Yeah.
And he had a chokehold on late aughts cinema.
I don't understand. Okay, because he doesn't. I don't want to be controversial, but like I feel like he doesn't do a lot in this movie. You know what I mean? Like he reacts, but he doesn't. Like
I disagree. Now as an adult with my like fully formed frontal lobe, I'm in love with Michael Cera.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to smack. Well, only because I feel like, I think it just bothers me, and I know it's more like the character that they've probably written or whatever, but he just doesn't. Juno does this too. They both are afraid to just talk to each other
Yeah.
for whatever reason after this incident, which is like a pretty big incident. It's like very avoidant behavior. Maybe I just see something in me now that I'm unpacking it. I'm like, maybe I'm Bleeker, because he doesn't really confront her about anything, and it does have feelings for her and feels a type of way about the baby. You can tell when he's like, oh shit, like I got I think when Juno's like, yeah, I don't think I'm going to keep this baby. I think, I'm just going to nip it in the bud. You can tell, like, in their eyes, both of them. Like, I do think they're great actors. But it infuriates me, I think, the lack of action that is taken on Bleeker's part. But you know what I mean? Like, you just think there'd be, like, some argument or some, like, I don't know.
No,
not just like, oh, I got someone
endearing.
pregnant. I'll just leave him alone. I don't know.
Well, because that's what Juno wants. And Michael Cera or Bleeker is all about boundaries.
So respectful, yeah.
Just such a sweet baby girl. He's my baby girl, Michael Cera. But before we talk any more about it, so how would you describe the plot of Juno?
I would say a 16-year-old gets pregnant and decides to give the baby up for adoption, and also discovers herself in the process. There's a love story in there. Do you want me to just read the plot? Is that what you're asking me?
I mean,
sometimes I don't know if you're asking me to give you my version.
No. I'm either one. Yeah, what's your version? What the plot is? It's a very simple plot.
Yeah, it is. I feel like it is pretty simple, but I feel like a lot of little things maybe happen,
Yeah. Because, right off the bat, she, the tests are positive. So Juno, in one of the first scenes, she goes to the abortion clinic and she runs into her friend from school there who's protesting, who's
so
pro-life. And the thing that gets her, which I've actually heard people that are pro-life make this argument too.
The baby has fingernails?
Yeah. Is this the Juno effect? But yeah, the baby having fingernails.
That's so crazy. I don't know if that would I don't know how I would feel if someone just said they have fingernails. But what else? I would say, what else do they have? You know what I mean? That would just lead me to more questions. Because, not just, you know what I mean? What else is developed? Is it, I don't know.
It couldn't just be fingernails. You would think nothing else is developed, just a yassified just little baby in there.
I know. I just wouldn't think babies would have fingernails until they pop out. I don't know. That's very ignorant of me.
Hot take, fingernails are overrated. I don't know. I know that's not the point of the line, but
no, it's not.
But yeah, so when she tells everyone, I love the scene when she actually goes up and tells her parents.
Yeah.
And I think it's J.K. Simmons, or no, maybe it's Allison Janney. But she goes, I thought she was getting expelled or doing hard drugs.
Yeah.
They're oh, so disappointed. They're oh man, I thought she was getting into hard drugs.
Me too. Yeah. That was pretty funny.
Yeah. What did you think about everyone's reactions?
I mean, I think it could have been a lot worse, and you've seen movies or TV shows like this where the parents flip out, or in real life, most likely, at least one of the parents is going to flip out. And usually there's one that's more calm and one more, but they were both pretty, I feel practical about it. Because honestly, at that point, what are you going to do? There's no sense in being mad. There's it's more of a problem to solve, I think. What are we gonna do? How are we gonna help?
Yeah,
it was just nice to see, and it's nice seeing Allison Janney being a wholesome mom for once. It's refreshing, especially after I, Tanya. It's
it subverts expectations too, because stepmoms are usually known as the wicked stepmom.
Oh yeah.
And Brenda is so cool.
She's the best stepmom ever.
I love her, and I love J.K. Simmons as the dad.
Yeah.
Who's just just goes full Papa Bear. He's so lovely as Juno's dad.
He is. I like him. He kind of looks like a turtle.
Yeah, I love that tall turtle.
I love that tall turtle.
Oh, but yeah, in the penny saver, Juno finds a parent.
Yes, but you know what gets me? Before they land on that couple, they find someone that's wholesome, and that's what they say in the ad. And she's I don't want to give the baby to a family who describes themselves as wholesome. I was thinking more graphic designer in their mid-30s with a cool Asian girlfriend who dresses awesome and rocks out on the bass guitar. But I don't want to be too particular. You know what I mean? Like, they're like, I want a cool couple to adopt my baby.
I love that.
I don't know.
No, I like felt that. I loved the specificity.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess it's that writing again. It's Diablo Cody. The genius.
It didn't win that Oscar for nothing.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the couple that they do decide on is kind of like that.
Yeah, they end up being like that in a way. Yeah.
Yeah, so we're introduced to Jennifer Garner and Jason Bateman, their characters. And can I just say first off, well, one, I love Jennifer Garner. I love Jason Bateman.
Yes.
Like, that's who I would want to adopt me.
Right.
But did you see, like, when Juno goes to their house and, like, all on the steps, there's, like, photo shoots of them?
Yes.
Looking straight up like they were part of the Backstreet Boys.
Yes,
just, like, all in white.
Yeah. That took me off guard. I was, like matching couples.
That
fits.
had me weak.
I think it's genius. No, it's a little creepy. It's a little, there are some undertones already that you feel that Vanessa might be maybe a little controlling, like, just because, like, we see her tidying everything up before, you know, just being, like, super OCD about the house. And then you see, like, I don't know if the interview is the right word, but they're, like, talking with the lawyer. It's more like a discussion, I guess, and like a...
But Vanessa just earnestly wants a child so bad.
I think so. But yes, it's just, I think you can see, what's his name? Mark? He doesn't feel that. You can tell he doesn't feel the same way. Sadly.
Like, right off the bat, like, Juno goes up to use the bathroom and she, like, goes into the room and, like, sprays on some Clinique Happy.
Yeah, which, I mean, while you're there, why not?
Well, oh my God. The joys of going to someone's bathroom, like their guest bathroom, and seeing their skincare routine. Mm-hmm. Doing my own, like, into the gloss for a hot second of just, like, being a little voyeur.
Sound like you've done this before.
Oh, totally. No shame.
Yeah.
If they have Kiehl's, you know that they're a classy bitch.
For sure.
You know, there's a lot you can say. I'm like one of those gay men on TikTok being like, if they have this perfume, then they're a skank. Or, like, if you listen, you know.
It. Yeah. Let's dissect it.
Yeah, but yeah, right away, Mark, like, and Juno start jamming out.
Yeah, which seems, like, kind of cute at first. You're like, oh, they're hitting it off. Like, this baby's going to be in good hands. Like, Juno's probably like, oh, these are cool people.
From Juno's perspective, for sure. And when I first saw this movie, I thought Mark and Juno's relationship, like, I was like, I get it. Mark is like, he writes jingles, but he wants to be a rocker. And they, like, play doll parts by Hole on the like, Les Paul. Like, so cool.
Yeah.
Now, as an adult, I'm like, no, he's in the wrong. Vanessa's in the right.
Yeah, he definitely crosses lines, but not quite yet. But
also, like, he's not the dude.
No,
he's not the dude
the
you think you are or think he is when you're 16.
Yeah.
Also, like, Vanessa, there's that scene when they are painting the baby's room, and Vanessa's wearing an Alice in Chains shirt, so you know she was cool, and she just wants a kid, and she's, like, wrapped up in that, I think.
Yeah. Which, you know.
Also, Jennifer Garner's my girl. I'm going to defend her forever.
No, she is not in the wrong here. Like, she did nothing wrong.
Jennifer Garner's a pretty princess.
Yeah. Can do no wrong.
Straight up. Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, so when Juno comes over to meet, you know, the couple and the lawyer, I love that she gives the lawyer this cool handshake. Like, the lawyer's like, nice to meet you. And she does that, like, slap thing where you're like,
yes.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how to do it, but you, like, kind of grab someone's hand and maybe pat him on the back afterward.
Like dab him or dap, whatever it's called.
It's so funny. It just, Juno is like the whole just like everything Juno said, like, can't we do this old school, like the old days, and send the baby in a basket to you like Moses? Or like, what about in the good old days when it was quick and dirty? Like, it was just like really you were just like caught off guard.
And Jason Bateman's like Old Testament. That's Old Testament, not old school.
Yeah.
I love when Jennifer Garner is like don't you ever feel like you were born to do something? And J.K. Simmons is like, yes, heating and air conditioning. But it's like the most like deadpan.
It made me laugh out loud, and I guess it's funny because you can kind of see where Juno gets her humor. Because yeah, that was just so funny.
He's my man.
Heating and air conditioning. Oh,
you know, this movie kind of, partly because of its cultural cachet, but just based on vibes alone, it's very Napoleon Dynamite.
yes, I thought that to myself many times. I'm like, this makes me feel like it's like adjacent to Napoleon Dynamite. It's like maybe in the same universe, like similar
Jason
aesthetics.
Bateman?
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, but it's like those short shorts that Bleecker wears.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Or like Jason Bateman's character is a little, at his sleaziest, it gives Uncle Rico vibes.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Yeah, no, I feel like it would be such an interesting mashup if they were in the same universe.
Even like the colors. The use of color is very similar to Napoleon Dynamite.
Definitely. Yeah, the colors and like clothing style, I feel.
Or like, what was up with the 2000s trend of like 80s, like 70s, 80s, like motifs, but also like they did this thing in the early, like in the 2000s where they wanted it to look older, if that makes sense. Maybe that's just a part of like the hipster trend of it all, but I think that's very interesting in retrospect.
I do too. Even if I think about like her friends, like belt buckles, like the big belt buckles that are kind of taggy. I think that was like popular in like the 70s.
Yeah.
Now that I think about it, like it was bell bottoms or something. But in the 2000s, we were rocking chunky belts.
For sure.
It was just like made a little taggier. You know what I mean? More bedazzled. But.
Just, yeah, like I feel like in the 2000s, we really tried everything.
Yeah.
For size.
Definitely. Yeah, we tried it all.
Yeah, we were like bedazzled. One year we were bedazzled, then we like stripped it back. We had to always have something though back in that time.
Yeah.
Like a butterfly or a...
Yeah, like there's a jacket that Juno wears that's like some type of like floral motif. It's like a dark colored jacket and it's just like do you know what I'm talking about? It's almost
don't remember, like
Victorian looking pattern or something, but it has like, I don't know, like bedazzled stuff on top, but like just a hint of it, like black sparkly gemstones.
Nice.
Just cuz.
I don't know, very into it.
Yeah. I liked it. I don't know. I think the fashion was actually kind of cool.
I even like the idea of like all the track kids like looking like they're straight up in the 80s.
Right. I know those shorts were so short.
Loved it. I mean, as a new Michael Cera stan, I'm just big fan.
Yeah. You know, also like this movie, I like how it goes through the seasons because it starts out in fall or autumn. Yeah. I don't know. I just noticed that was like
very Sex in the City.
Yeah, very Sex in the City.
Film analysis goggles on. Do you think that meant anything, or just Jason Reitman was like really into? He, like Michael Patrick King, just really loves seasons.
I think so. Yeah, I think just really loves. Well, maybe it also helped mark certain milestones in the pregnancy because that's like, I don't know, how long are people pregnant? Like 9 months. So
like a year in a year in Juno's life.
It's like a year. Yeah, I think it was like maybe to mark a year in her life, basically. Yeah, because like one of the first things when they're in winter is the ultrasound. So
love that scene. I think that's like a really fun scene with Allison Janney and Elliot Page and like the cheerleader best friend.
Yes.
And they're just like weirding out the ultrasound technician. But
I love the ultrasound technician just being like super sassy, like, you know, like, oh, well, it's a good thing you've got people to adopt this baby. Like, thank God for that. Like, Allison Janney, like, hey, you watch your mouth.
Yes.
Just love it.
I don't know. I love the tender moments. So that's like another like scene where I'm like, oh, it's like really tender.
It is. That's sweet.
Do you have thoughts on Juno and Jason Bateman's relationship?
Yes. Gross. It's weird. It's like, it starts out kind of, you're like, oh, this is kind of nice. Look at, oh, they're sharing like an interest. You don't think anything of it. But it gets weird, like, not right away, but I feel like, okay, so the first time she goes over there to bring the ultrasound, honestly, I didn't think much of that because they said to, you know, whatever. But then it's interesting because, like, Alice, like, her, like, Bren is like, oh, you know, you could have just mailed that. And I didn't realize it's an hour away either because they don't, you know, you just see the car go. I thought they were just in a couple neighborhoods away. I didn't really think about it being, like, a whole hour because that is a schlep. But Bren also makes a really like adult point of like, this is a marriage and you're supposed to have boundaries. Like, it's very important to make sure those lines aren't blurred. Like, you should not be going over to their house. Yeah. Unless they invite, like, unless there's some like, I don't know, baby party. I don't know. Unless they invite you over, but you can't. You also call or I don't know. I guess I don't know how you would. They didn't have smartphones. Like, they couldn't just send a picture of the ultrasound. So no, not like that. But yeah, you definitely would call or something. You not just drop by. Yeah, it's a little odd. But you know, at first I'm like, oh, it's nice they're sharing like whatever, like bonding over a horror movie, what like music. But then it's like it definitely gets weird. Like, especially towards the middle of the movie. Like, I don't want to skip ahead too much. No, like, skip ahead, because I feel like this movie, like, you just kind of realize that Mark is like Charlie Sheen from 2.5 Men with his like jingle writing, and his jingles honestly aren't that good, or at least what they show up. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And you're like, oh, like, something's wrong with this man. Because even though Juno may have a crush on Mark and puts on like chapstick or lip gloss or something to go, you know, because I think ultimately because she's maybe in denial about her feelings with Bleecker, or just doesn't, you know, he's upset because Bleeker's taking someone else to the prom, even though she said, go take this, you know, there's like a lot happening with that I think she's just using Mark as like maybe an escape and that someone paying attention to her. But he should be like, you're 16. Like, I'm not, like, he's married. He's supposed to be, I don't know. There's just so much wrong with Mark that I'm just like, I think to make a connection, he's in Arrested Development. He really is. It's wild. Literally. Yeah, no, his life, even in this movie as Mark, is narrated by Ron Howard, being like, he shouldn't have, you know, answered the phone call that Juno, like, yeah, like, why is he like, yeah, it's weird because he tells her to get back to school or something, but the way he says it is like a little creepy, and I'm like, ooh, I don't like this. Like, it's like I slowly start like getting weirded out by him and like just getting the ick. I think though, you know, when I watched this movie as a teenager around the time it came out, I kind of viewed myself as like a Juno light. Like, at that age, like Juno, I was like, oh, Mark is cool. And Vanessa is just like a controlling bitch. And, you know, like, they have things in common. And they like love horror movies and music. And I'm like, this is a cute, like, little relationship. I was like, oh, this is kind of hot. Or like, whatever, cute. I don't know. But as someone with a fully formed frontal lobe, that's huge red flag. Huge red flag. But it's also just like, even Juno at the end, when Mark calls her, or like, not calls her, because they're like slow dancing. Like, even Juno's mature enough to be like, you're gonna leave your wife who like wants, you know, you basically are just a loser. Yeah, Juno's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Yeah, like, it's very interesting. It's also like a lesson for, they're older, like they're in their 30s. Yeah. But this is like a lesson to like people in their late 20s. This is for all the girlies listening to Olivia Rodrigo, like they're 23-year-old teenage girls. It's like, there is like, as the older person, even though you feel young, you are young. Yeah. There's so many boundaries and like so many things that you as like the actual adult, I know this is like a tangent. No, it makes sense. That's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, you gotta be like, you know, you gotta be like, no, sweetie. Yeah, or like, you can't entertain the fantasy, especially if the person is like 16. It's like, this is a high schooler. Like, what is wrong with you? Or like, you have to keep yourself in keep yourself
check.
in check. Yeah, like chill out. You just don't cross. I don't know. I just feel like he crossed too many lines, and
But
very disappointing.
I think ultimately, like, you can feel that way,
But just don't express. Like, just don't.
well, it just makes you look pathetic.
It does. Well, because he kind of is though.
He is.
I don't know. I think he was lucky to have Vanessa.
For sure. Who seems cool. Like, she's still painting in an Alice in Chains shirt. Maybe if you, like, cleaned up after yourself and, like, wasn't, like, I don't know, maybe write a better jingle.
Write a better jingle. Oh, yeah. That was probably, like, the most annoying part of this movie is Mark. But, I kind of take back a bit what I said about Michael Cera. I mean, he is endearing in this movie. Like, I get the appeal. I wish there was just more of him because we don't really see him do a lot. He just kind of, he's like, which I get is kind of Michael Cera's thing. But you know what I mean? Like, I feel like there just could have been more, like, dialogue. Like, we don't hear enough coming out of his mouth. It's just, you know what I'm saying?
I would love to see more of the Juno Bleecker storyline.
Yes, I feel like that was just missing a bit. And I get that, like, Juno's on her own journey and trying to figure things out and trying not to involve, Bleecker and trying to be like, I've got this handled and we're not even really together and we only hooked up the one, like, there's a lot of layers. And
But I love when they get back together and she puts, like, all the Tic Tacs because he likes Tic Tacs in his mailbox.
that is the cutest thing. Yeah. I love it.
No, I love it. I even love, like, after Juno has the baby, and I think it's like a moment where it, like, brings everything together, because after the whole Juno and Mark situation, we find out that Juno's left a note at Vanessa's door saying that I'm still in.
Yes.
And it's just like a subtle, I don't know, I like that in the script.
I like that too. I also like how she, like, frames that at the end, like, and puts it in the baby's room. I don't know, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It leaves you on the edge of your seat though, because I feel like this movie, it does subvert expectations like a couple times, and, like, it's hard to tell too from the preview exactly what's going to happen, because I'm going in and I've seen, we've had stories since Juno, like Secret Life of American Teenager, or, like, whatever, being pregnant at 16. Like, there's, like, been so many kind of copycat versions of Juno. I just really thought, I was like, oh, maybe she's going to decide to keep the baby after all, because it's hard to tell what's going on in her head at the moment. And, like, she had issues with her own mom at some point. So maybe, you just can't tell. And then she's like, oh, I'm in love with Bleecker. So I'm like, are they going to raise the baby together? Like, I'm just, like, wondering. I'm like, oh, I guess that's how it's going to end. And then it's like, no, it's not ending that way. They're still going with the original plan. And I just love that. I don't know.
It's also like she goes from just, like, acting mature to being mature. Mm-hmm. Like, there's so much growth there. And it's not, like, feminist per se, but it is this, like, she realizes Mark is a loser. Mm-hmm. And she's like, this is for like, when Juno sees Vanessa with, like, one of her friend's kids at the mall, and just, like, so badly, like, Jennifer Garner, like, puts her ear to Juno's belly and, like, wants to hear the heartbeat. Like, she, like, wants a kid so bad, and, like, for Juno to have that maturity and be like, nah, this is what's meant to be.
Mm-hmm. No, I think that's awesome. I'm like, wow. It's like, Juno's, like, so much maturity.
Yeah, I'm not that mature.
I'm not that mature. Yeah.
And then Bleecker comes to the hospital and, like, lays with her while she cries.
Yeah. It's beautiful. That scene, like, got me for clumps. Like, I don't know why I'm, like, talking, like, we just talked about the nanny and I'm just like,
the clumps, Mr. Sheffield. No, but still, I, like, that actually got me too.
Yeah. Like, it did. I ugly cried just for a couple minutes after that. I was like, damn, I didn't think this movie was gonna get me. I said, this Twee movie is not gonna affect me, but it did.
It's a good movie. I think it holds up, to be honest.
Yeah. Oh yeah, also when Vanessa picks the baby up for the first time, that got me too.
Yeah.
I was like, damn it, not again. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Just gives that lady purpose, and I'm into it.
I liked how, like, what I took away from this film is, like, sometimes things just work out the way they're supposed to. And I just feel like it was a happy ending, you know? And it's kind of cool. It's cool seeing like Bren being like a cool stepmom. Like Juno does have like a, you know, I know she mentions like broken families or whatever, but it's like her family, I think, is a nice little family. You know, it's, I don't know. Things don't have to be perfect or, what's the word?
It's not like Leave It to Beaver.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be Leave It to Beaver. It doesn't have to be like typical and like, you know, even like her relationship with Bleecker. She's like, oh, I thought I'd fall. Even most people fall in love before they have a baby. Like she's like fall in love kind of after, or like, you know, just real. I don't know. I think that's interesting that they still have a love story despite everything that just happened, because it's kind of complicated, especially being a teen and having to deal with all that. I can't imagine all the complicated emotions and.
Oh my God, I could not. I'm still like, I'm like that Broad City episode when Alana's like, I'm like a 27-year-old, like, what am I, a teen, like,
yeah,
a teenage bride, like, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, what was I going to say? Like, I keep thinking about J.K. Simmons' monologue towards the very end about just like always being there for her.
Oh yeah, that got me too a bit.
But I even think it's like, you know, the quote, like, life happens while you're busy making plans. Mm-hmm. It's like, even though Jennifer Garner's character wanted the Leave It to Beaver life, ultimately, like, she just wanted to be a mom, and like she got that. And like,
she didn't need Mark.
No, you don't need no Mark.
And stanky jingle.
Yes.
Oh
no. Anything else?
Oh, I thought it was really cute how Bren gets the puppies.
Yes.
You know, because you could sense some tension towards the beginning where Juno's like, I don't know, like, Bren's so annoying and I'm allergic to dogs. Like, you know, all these things, like this kind of like resistance.
Because she like picks on Bren, like that she's lame because she like is always, I don't know, doing needlepoint of dogs and stuff. But then Bren comes out and is like, I don't have a dog right now because you're allergic. And it's like, it's kind of like a sign of love. It's like it's an interesting way in the dialogue for Bren to say, I love you.
Yeah.
Is how I took that.
Yeah. It could be taken a different way. Like, it's all your fault. But yeah, no, I think so. I think there is like a lot of love there that's just not as, maybe as straightforward. But, you know, she's also a stepmom. So it's like boundaries. I don't know. I love Bren.
I do too. Oh my God. Everyone just... You know, I don't know, we're in fall now, which means it's like cozy sweaters,
turtleneck under your like
turtleneck, some Twee, Gilmore Girls on repeat, pumpkin spice.
Yes.
Also like Julia Roberts and Stepmom is like the outfit inspo. And, you know, we just Bren.
Yeah.
Bren.
Just Bren.
I don't know what my point was. Oh, my point was stepmom. Stepmom, Julia Roberts and stepmom.
Yeah.
You can cut this out. I did not make a good correlation.
That's all good. I want to see that movie because I feel like I've seen a lot of Julia Roberts films, but I'm like...
Never seen Stepmom either. Like, I've seen so many bits and pieces and I know it's not.
It's not good, right? I don't know.
I think it's one of those movies that was marketed a different way than it actually is. Like, it's about Susan Sarandon's character dying and Julia Roberts being the stepmom.
Oh.
But
I want to see Susan Sarandon. That's sad.
Yeah. But Juno did kind of, like, change things up.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only, like, other thing I want to ask you, we talked about the soundtrack a bit before, but so... You know, there's a quote from Dazed, I believe, that says, by the mid-2000s, home computing and iTunes had stunted the commercial appeal of traditional movie compilations, bar a few exceptions to the rule like Dreamgirls and High School Musical, which both came out the year before. Juno offered up a hip alternative steered by Kimya Dawson's lo-fi indie folk songs, most of which were penned especially for the film and bolstered by an all-star cast including Sonic Youth, The Kinks, The Velvet Underground, and Cat Power. The music that defines Juno feels like a mixtape from an old friend who could tap into the psychic fuzz, growing pains, and absurdity that shadows the best of us into adulthood. That it topped the Billboard 200 in January 2008 and later received a Best Compilation Soundtrack album Grammy nomination. So I guess my question, Brie,
Yes.
is this is like a soundtrack that's very integral to the film.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think because even at the end, Michael Cera and Elliot Page are singing the Moldy Peaches song,
Yes.
like the whole song to each
Pretty
other.
cute. Yeah.
And it kind of like does a little bow
it up.
tie at
Yeah.
the end. Are there any other movie soundtracks that come to mind that you feel like just, or like a secondary character?
Oh, okay. Like it's all in its. My mind immediately goes to Shrek. Because I feel like, you know, I know it's an animated film. I know it's cheesy. I know it's kind of a children's film, but with some adult humor in there.
Shrek is great, Brie. The first one and the second.
But I feel like if Shrek didn't have the soundtrack it did, it would not be as successful. If Smash Mouth was not playing like at the very beginning, or if they even did a different song, like that one song about being going around the sun or something, you know what I'm talking about? Like if it was a different Smash Mouth song, like,
yeah.
you know, it was just picking the right songs for the right moments, I think is really important. Yeah, I feel like Shrek does that well because it does you know, even the slower songs like Hallelujah. Like, but I'm trying to think like an actual like film. I mean, I feel like, sorry, I've got a thought. Hold on.
Okay. I think Sofia Coppola does this well.
I was thinking that too. I was thinking, oh, sorry, my knee. I was thinking that movie. I can't think of what it's called. It's it's like when she's the queen.
Marie Antoinette.
Marie Antoinette. Yeah, not Queen Elizabeth.
So good though.
Yeah, I feel like Marie Antoinette does a good job with the soundtrack.
I think so. I think that becomes, it does become a character. Or like the Virgin Suicides does a really great job of putting you in their mind almost. Tanya's really great. We just talked about that soundtrack.
Yes.
But I think this movie does a really probably better than any of those examples of.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to think of anything to compare it to.
Moulin Rouge.
Oh, Moulin Rouge.
I know that's a jukebox musical, but it actually it is a musical, so it aids the story, but just something about every single song in Moulin Rouge.
Yeah.
Just elevates it. And I think this Juno soundtrack really does.
I agree.
Elevate it. It's like a second character.
It is. Yeah. No, I love like a soundtrack in a film. Like I just love it.
I love music.
I do. No, I even think of I want to say even in animated films, like in Kiki's Delivery Service, I think there's two versions. We've talked about this.
Yeah.
But I swear there's, in one of the versions, there's not as much music. And I'm it just feels empty. I love a good soundtrack in a film. I don't know what it is. Especially when it is it becomes like a character and just,
yeah,
it's got a purpose. It's like chef's kiss. I don't know. I also love music videos, so I don't know if it's just also that I need visuals to go with my music.
Very Wes Anderson-y too.
Yeah, I've never seen a Wes Anderson film
at all.
Never, not a single one.
We gotta do Royal Tenenbaums. I think that's the late to the party pick.
Okay. No, we should. I wanted to see that new one that came out, but I think that's past.
Oh, Asteroid City.
Yeah. Pretty sure that's over.
It's not too late. You can, I'm sure it's justwatch.com.
Yeah. But I want to see it on the big screen. I feel like Wes Anderson is one of those big filmmakers and the aesthetic is so strong. Wouldn't it be cool to see on the big screen or no? Have you seen one of his films on the big screen?
I have. I've seen Moonrise Kingdom and I've seen The Grand Budapest Hotel on the big screen, and I just love seeing movies at a movie theater.
Yeah.
But as a reformed Tumblr girl, Brie, you watch a Wes Anderson movie on your MacBook, on your laptop.
Oh.
That's the way God intended.
That's the way.
Yeah. Take a really aesthetic photo.
I was going to say, do you take a pic and post it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
That's the Juno effect. It's not teen pregnancy. It's watching Wes Anderson movies on your MacBook and taking a photo for Pinterest.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Well, what would you rate Juno?
I don't know. Maybe 8 out of 10 Moldy Peaches. I don't know. What about you?
9 out of 10 really short shorts, or 9 out of 10 Tic Tacs.
Ooh, Tic Tacs. That's a good one.
Hamburger phones.
Yes. I'm going to say, I don't know, 8 out of 10 dog calendars.
9 out of 10 Etch-a-Sketches you can't undo.
Maybe 8.5 out of 10. I don't know. I'm just like I did enjoy it. I just don't, I don't know what I wanted more of. Maybe more of her and Bleecker.
Yeah. More Shrek.
More Shrek. Yeah. But it was a cute film. Like it was very enjoyable. It was like a really sweet movie.
I'm glad you got to watch it.
Me too. Finally.
Yes. Thank you guys so much for listening.
Rate and review us
on Apple, Spotify,
anywhere. And we'll see you next week.
See you then.
Bye.
Bye.